Today's episode of The Real Deal with Damian Adams is brought to you by the 3pointconversion.com. Now, 3pointconversion.com is where fans' opinions matter. So if you're a sports fan and you truly want to get your updates as quickly as possible, go to 3pointconversion.com and make sure you follow 3Point Conversion on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, if you need in-depth articles on all sports across the globe, make sure you follow 3Point Conversion as well, because again, it's where fans' opinions truly matter. Thank you for listening to The Real Deal with Damian Adams. This is Real Sports Talk for the Real Sports Fan, and I definitely appreciate all you Real Sports fans who are listening right now. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thank you. Truly appreciate you. And do not forget to give us that 5-star rating at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 5-star rating and review will definitely be appreciated. If you're listening on the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio, thank you. And please let us know what you think of the show, because the 3-Point Conversion station is where fans' opinions matter. So if you think the show is hot, shout it out loud. I think the show is hot and I'm proud. If you think the show can improve, don't be as loud with it, but let us know that you think the show can improve as well, all right? I need all your criticisms and your praise to be great at my job, all right? Definitely appreciate you guys. And today's a special bonus episode. And for you guys who are new to the bonus episodes, we get a little wild on bonus episodes. This is where we like to have a little fun. We have fun on each episode, but the bonus episodes are a little more fun. All right. And on this episode, I am joined by someone who is definition of a go-getter. She definitely is someone who makes me work harder every time I see her working harder. She is the founder of webcelebdaily.com. She is the co-host of Let's Chit Chat and Let's Dish, along with Kay from She's Gossips. She does so many things. She has so much working, so much in the works. She's a young mogul. I'm very glad to have her on the show. How you doing today, Dani Lashay?
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
So, whenever I have a guest on for the first time, I like to get to know the guest. So, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am from Detroit, Michigan. I have been in the entertainment journalism community since 2010. I have done appearances on TMZ Live. I've covered BET Awards. And right now, I'm just growing my brand. So as he said, I have webcelebdaily.com. We are an entertainment-based website. We have celebrity interviews. We spill the tea. Not too much tea. You know, sometimes it can be a little too hot where you get burned. But we don't want to burn you. We just want to, you know what I'm saying, give you a little sizzle. And yes, every Sunday at, because it was a time zone change. It is 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Instagram, we go live. Web Celeb Daily and She Gossips. And then on Wednesdays, we give you guys Let's Chit Chat. We're supposed to be 30 minutes, but we end up going over to an hour. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Right now, I'm just growing, and I have a lot in store for 2019.
Yes, definitely. You have a lot going on. Like I said, someone who works hard like you makes me work harder. And there's something that you forgot to mention that I wanted to ask you about. Mm-hmm. You are quite the cook, right?
I am.
Okay, you have an Instagram page.
I do.
What is your cooking page?
It is Cooking with Dani Lashay.
Cooking with Dani Lashay. Mm-hmm. And for people out there who may not be able to spell, how you spell Dani Lashay?
That is DaniLashay. Okay,
so I look on the page. I'm on there, getting hungry, getting hunger pains, looking at it, looking real good. What made you fall in love with the art of cooking?
It actually was not something that came natural to me. I was cooking when I was little, but it was something because it was something that I had to do. Then when I became an adult, it was still something that I had to do. But I was more so like frozen dinners, fried chicken, spaghetti, easy stuff like that. And then I got married. And then I didn't have a choice but to learn. So I was a stay-at-home wife, and then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm going to really put some effort into this meal. And from there, it just became second nature. So I guess maybe I always had it, but I just didn't care enough before. So yeah, just gotta give love to the food.
Okay, I hear you. Give love to the food. Me being from Louisiana, growing up outside New Orleans, I definitely know a lot of people who put love into their food. So I definitely appreciate that and love looking at the page, seeing what you're cooking on there. Now, with Web Celeb Daily, how long have you had this website?
Since 2010.
So 2010, you've been spilling the tea. Not too much tea, but spilling the tea.
Yeah. In the beginning, I really didn't know what I was doing. It was more so like a hobby. And then 2014, I moved out to LA, and I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to make this, like, you know, real, you know, to make it legit. A lot of hands-on experience. So, yeah, I've been doing this for a nice little minute.
Okay, and when you first started, what were some of the bigger challenges that came along with trying to build this website, get connections with these celebrities and things of that nature?
Well, when you first start off, you're nobody, you know? So you have to really be strategic with who you reach out to as far as trying to get interviews or even trying to get exposure, because you could have a Z-list celebrity who turns their nose up at you. Like, I don't know who you are, when only 300 people may know who they are, you know? So that was something that I was concerned about at first, but I just took a chance. So when I first started out, for 4 years, I didn't like try to reach out to any celebrities or anything like that. Like, I just focused on the news. Competition at the time, Nicole Bitchie, I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
No.
She was a very popular blogger. It was like Media Takeout, Boss Up, Nicole Bitchie. And she ended up leaving the game. She decided she didn't want to be in that realm anymore, and I was like, I'm coming for her spot. I was like, she's leaving a door wide open, and I was like, I'm coming for it. So that was around the time when I moved to LA. So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity. So one day I was like, you know what? You need to start doing celebrity interviews. So I was just emailing all types of people. So I reached out to people that weren't too famous, but still had a nice following. So my very first interview was with Shekinah Joe. A lot of you may know her from Tiny Show, T.I. Tiny Show, the Family Hustle. And she said yes. And, you know, and she was so awesome. She was so great. She gave my grandma a shout out. So my grandma was like, tell her I watched her. But yeah, so that was my first one. And so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep sending emails, because the worst they can do is say no. You know what I'm saying? And if they say no, you just go to the next person. So those were some challenges for me not to get discouraged and to understand, you know what I'm saying? It has to benefit their brand. You know what I'm saying? So any non-responses or no's that I got, I didn't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that. You also have to understand that a lot of your friends or people that say that they're your friends, they're not going to support you right off the bat.
Yeah, I definitely know that.
They're not going to do that because they don't believe in you like you believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And then even when you start making certain moves, like I have people who claim that they're so cool with me, and I'll post the same story as the Shade Room, and may even post it before them, and they'll repost the Shade Room but won't repost mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to. It used to bother me, but it stopped bothering me, and then it helped me filter out who actually supports me and who doesn't. You know, I get people who, you know, I do promo on my brand that's paid. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of people that reach out to me asking for free promo, but they don't even share my stories. They don't like them. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't do anything. So it made me have to get to the point where I'm like, I'm not doing no favors. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's not benefiting me.
Yeah. I
had somebody reach out, and they were saying like, oh, can you share this sale? Okay, I did it once. And then they were like, okay, I'm going to let you know when I have another one. No. Like, are you paying me?
Yeah.
Are you offering me anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, even something for my troubles without me even having to say, this is my rate.
Yeah.
Really, this is my rate should be the first conversation that we have. You should be asking me, how much do you charge? You know what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't go to Google Ads, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, can you put me on the top spot on the Google page when they search for, you know what I'm saying, whatever. You're going to have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's I feel like those are the biggest ones. And then just staying consistent. It's very easy to get frustrated because you feel like you're being overlooked, or you feel like, you know, this isn't working. And I feel like if you're doing it, don't do it for the money. Eventually that will come, but you have to do it because you enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll give up. It could take months. You know what I'm saying? Years. Like, it took me years to even get to the platform of where I am now. And I still have so much farther to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so much farther to go. But, you know, you get people like, oh, I see you on TMZ, girl. Like, girl. Like, okay.
Nah, that's definitely 100% facts, what you're talking about right there. Working for the 3pointconversion.com, we, you know, compete with other sports sites. So when there's times when, like, LA brought us as our insider, he's the one who breaks news for us. There's times when he's going to break news before ESPN, before Fox, before all the big sports guys. Mm-hmm. And people will see that first. Mm-hmm. But they're going to share the ESPN one first because they're just a bigger brand. And then when it comes to seeing us getting a big interview or seeing me get an NFL player on my podcast, that's when they come out and say, oh, I see you. I'm supporting. So I definitely understand that struggle and see exactly what you're saying when it comes to that part of it. Now, you fast forward a little bit. Mm-hmm. You're doing a show with Kay from She Gossips.
Yes, my boo.
Very entertaining show that I watch anytime I can. Mm-hmm. How did you guys hook up and start doing the show?
So, we met each other like 4 years ago on Instagram. It was like, I don't know where she is, but there was this blogger. Her name was Bella, and her page was Our Reality. She actually tried to bring all the blogs together at one point, and we were trying to build like this big network. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, but a lot of us ended up still building relationships. So she was somebody that I ended up building a relationship with, and I was planning the trip to Atlanta because that's where she is, and I reached out to her, and we just started talking from there. And so she was like, you know, I'm trying to do a podcast, and I'm looking for somebody to do it with. And she was like, would you want to do it with me? And I was like, yeah, you know, like, why not? And she wasn't sure if I was serious, but I had texted her like, listen, let's get, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it started. So, you know, it was her idea, and she brought me on, and I'm so thankful that she did. And, you know, because it was we're like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not the same as far as personalities go, but we mesh together very well, you know? So, yeah. So that's how it came about, and we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and we have a lot in store for Let's Dish and Let's Chit Chat for 2019 as well.
Definitely looking forward to that. You guys can make sure you follow her at Web Celeb Daily and Kay at She Gossips.
Yes, that's SHEGOSSIPZ_. Because my boo have been deleted a couple times because people don't like her opinion. That's okay, because everybody is not going to like your opinion. But she doesn't give a fuck, and that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have thick skin in this industry. You cannot be somebody who is afraid to give your opinion and to receive opinion, because not everybody likes our show. Yeah. You know, we have comments where people are like, oh, y'all boring, or oh, y'all hating, or oh, this or all that. Okay, but you're still watching, right? Yeah. You're still giving us views, so thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's something that's definitely very similar in the sports world as well, where you have an unpopular opinion about, like, my biggest one was a boxer named Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. He's a boxer from England who's maybe the best in the world right now. Mm-hmm. But he's been, I think, ducking a fight with Deontay Wilder, who's a very good boxer from here, knockout guy. Mm-hmm. And I said my opinion about him ducking him. And, man, they let me have it about giving that opinion. But they watched.
Yeah.
So you definitely watched or listened. And you just appreciate everybody who watches and listens, whether they're hating or liking.
Yeah.
You appreciate it either way. So I definitely can understand where you're coming from in that standpoint. Now, I definitely want you to be a contributor to this show going forward. We talked about the idea before. Mm-hmm. Whenever sports and the celebrity gossip culture intertwine, mm-hmm. I would love to have you on the show as my drama consultant.
Okay.
To talk about these issues.
Y'all see how he put me on the spot.
Yeah, you can't say no on the air. So I gotta ask that right there. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, when Dwight Howard had his situation earlier this year, that's something that I'm not like an expert in, of finding out what's real, what's not real.
Yeah.
That's something that you could help me out with in that situation. There's always situations going on with these athletes where it crosses over into that type of realm. So I definitely would like to have you on, if you're willing to say yes. You can't say no on the air, So
that's definitely something that I would love to do. And you're right, these athletes, they always get themselves caught up in something. And you would think by now they would be much smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw what happened with Warren Sapp. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw this. So it's like you would think people would be smarter. With Dwight Howard, he tried to come with a non-disclosure after. You know what I'm saying? She threatened to come out like, you gotta be smarter than that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but, you got to be more careful.
Yeah, and what is his name? Lonzo Ball's brother.
Oh,
Melo.
Yeah.
He got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Like, an old girl is coming out with a TV show, and she's about to out a whole list of celebrities. Now, granted, I know that people can make shit happen behind the scenes, and that shit could end up, going away. But eventually, somebody will get that information. If that show doesn't happen, she's going to leak that information to somebody.
Yeah.
Just come out, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these entertainers and athletes, everybody tries to act like they're straight, which I get it. You know what I'm saying? Family-wise, and because of the stigma that, you know what I'm saying, the world has put on gay people. So it's just like, but now, and this time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much more accepted. So I feel like, especially health reasons, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you have a girlfriend or a wife, but you really like men, you might like both. You need to come out and at least to your family. You know what I'm saying? Because if it ends up getting exposed to the rest of the world, your family will already know. You know what I'm saying? So imagine how, Dwight Howard's mom may have felt.
Yeah.
If, you know what I'm saying? Hearing that whole, because the conversation was taped.
Yeah.
And I do believe that was him, because I'll call him a he, because he said he's not a tranny. He's not I'm sorry, I said tranny. He's not a transgender. So he went through all of this, having conversations, posted screenshots. Now, I know people can edit. Photoshop is a motherfucker these days. However, you having full conversations with his pastor now. If it didn't happen, if it's not true, how did it get to the point where now your pastor is threatening them? And the pastor was acting like he was like a reformed OG. He was like, oh, you messing with the wrong one. We'll roll up on you. I was like, okay, well, damn. He about to get the fucking ushers board and they about to ride out. But yeah, I like to talk about stuff like that.
Yes, so I definitely can use your expertise in that realm. Mm-hmm. And you definitely stated a very good point. Health reasons. Mm-hmm. So I understand in athletics, we haven't come around like the rest of the world when it comes to homosexuality.
Right.
It's still a very bad stigma on it, saying, oh, if you're gay, you're soft. Mm-hmm. So like for football players, Michael Sam was the first one to be out open. Mm-hmm. Now, too bad he wasn't that good. Like, if it was a better player who would have came out, I think it would have had more of an impact. Mm-hmm. With him not being, he wasn't an NFL quality player, just to be honest. Mm-hmm. So with him, a lot of people thought, especially in the gay community, like, oh, he only got drafted late because he was gay. Nah, it's because he was slow. Mm. So you, like, D.L. Hughley had this great joke about, like, he said, we don't care if you come out of the closet on Saturday. You just gotta be. you just gotta be able to catch the man on Sunday. So if he was faster, it would have been no problem.
Yeah.
So a lot of people speculate about Odell Beckham, right? When it comes to this stuff, if he would have came out,
How you doing?
if he would have came out, it would have been no issue because he's such a great player.
He's a very great player.
Yeah, it would have been no issue. It'd be like, okay, he's gay. We moving on because he's somebody who our team needs.
Exactly.
So when a good player or a great player comes out, I think it's going to change everything when it comes to the stigma. And for like Dwight Howard, he's somebody who obviously likes women because he has like 8 kids. So if he's going both ways, he definitely needs to let people know because that could be dangerous. Like you said, for health reasons. Yeah. So I definitely want your help in the future for that.
For sure.
Before the show, you mentioned that you wanted to ask me something.
Yes. So there was I think it's New Jersey, a wrestler in high school was told like minutes before he went on the mat that he had to cut his dreads.
I saw that. Yes, it made me very upset. So for people who may not know, in New Jersey, it was a high school wrestling match. There was I believe, African-American kid. He's a little fair-skinned African-American kid who the referee told had to cut his dreads before the match. Now, there have been some wrestlers who came out who said that you can't have long hair when you wrestle, but you can wear a cap.
Right.
So my point is, obviously, the referee had something against his dreadlocks because he could have easily said you need to wear a cap. You can't have the long hair when you wrestle.
Yep.
So, and the referee's been cited before for saying the N-word. Oh, we on the bonus episode. He said nigga. And the white referee didn't get fired then. But now we're hearing that he's been fired now for this incident, for making this kid cut his dreads. Because for people that don't understand, if you're growing dreads, that's a part of your identity. You've been growing those for years. So when you have something that you've been growing for years, you can see the video of how angry the kid was. The kid won the match. The referee goes to hold his hand up. He just pulls his hand away and walks off because he's so upset about having to cut his hair. Referee, clearly racist. If there's some white kid with long hair, he's not making that kid cut his hair. It's because he didn't like this kid having dreadlocks wrestling. Right. And then the kid has to be good. He probably didn't like that either. So that's all it was about, was him being racist. What did you think about the situation?
I was pissed off too. And honestly, I wanted to ask, like, where the fuck was your mom at? Because if it was me, my son wouldn't have been wrestling. You know what I'm saying? You just would have walked out of that match. You're not about to cut my son's hair for this one game. You know what I'm saying? And now he's going, and if you continue to do it, you're not even going to be able to grow it back now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a constant issue. So, I definitely was pissed off myself, but my son, nope. And then, the first incident, did that get, news coverage?
That's the thing that also made me upset, because when it was first reported, it was reported as a feel-good story. It was reported from the side of, this kid had to cut his dreads and he still won the match. Nah. And once, I think it was reported by Sporting News first, and then I saw it retweeted by Jamel Hill, and she was like, this isn't a feel-good story at all. This is something that's, this kid should not have had to cut his dreads. And like I said, a lot of wrestlers are coming out saying you can't have long hair when you wrestle. But like I said, you can wear a cap. Yeah. So the only time you have to cut your hair is military, as far as I'm concerned. Like, the military will make you cut your hair when you first get in. You have to keep it to a certain length. If you're not in the military, especially some kid who's 15, 16 years old, there shouldn't be no way somebody's making you cut your hair for an athletic event.
So you can't have it. Let's say you have ear length dreads. You can't have those in the military?
No, in the military, I know the rules have changed. I got out in 2013. But in the Navy, you can't have dreads. It has to be there's only a certain style of cut. I believe the maximum length is, I want to say, 2 inches. So you can have a little high top, but your sides got to be cut down. So that's the high and tight. That's came from the military. So in the military, they don't make you cut it. But in the military, you understand that going in. The recruiters will tell you, if you come in there with dreads, you're going to have to cut that. You know what I mean? Or if there's, there might have been somebody who was able to keep their dress due to religious reasons.
But my thing is okay, let's just say your hair has to be a certain length. What about the white people, the white chicks that enter service? Are you making them cut their hair?
Yeah, they do. They make everybody cut their hair. Once it starts growing, women can put it in a bun, and they have to keep it in a bun. It just can't touch the shoulders.
So why can't I have my dreads in a bun?
You can have women can have women are different than men.
So it's just the men who can't have the dreads. Okay, I was about to say
No, for women, you don't have to go like full G.I. Jane, nothing like that.
Okay.
It's different. Like, you just have to have it in a bun. I think in boot camp, they might cut it, if it's like 2 right here, they might cut it just at the shoulder length. But for men, they cut it all off. So, and they do a bad job. There's a horrible picture of me, like the 3rd day of boot camp. They cut it, they don't go with the grain. It's they just cut it off. But like I was saying, in the military, you sign up and you know that going in. Yeah. And you're getting paid.
True.
So there's a difference between that and doing this amateur event.
Yeah.
They're making you cut your hair for an amateur athletic event. Right. So I was very upset about that as well. So I've had a great time getting to know you. We do have a friend of ours who we forgot to get a Christmas gift to. Our friend Bob is a very close friend of ours who loves sports movies.
Yeah.
And we forgot to get him a Christmas gift.
Oh, damn.
And it's the day after Christmas. So what to do is involve the fans in the Christmas gift. So since he loves sports movies, I wanted both of us to give our list of 4 sports movies that we can give in like a package to Bob. And the fans can select which package is better for Bob to have.
Okay.
So are you down? Do you have some movies that you can give Bob?
I do, because that's as close to sports that I actually get. So, okay, you ready?
Yes, what is your first movie?
Oh, okay, now this isn't in any specific order.
Okay.
But the first movie I would say is the 1990-something thriller, The Fan, with Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Shut up. With Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro. Wesley Snipes plays a baseball player. Robert De Niro is an obsessed fan, and he kidnaps his kid. It's really good. I watched it when I was a kid, and I've loved that movie ever since. After that, I would have to say Above the Rim. Primarily because it's like...
hold on. Let's go one at a time. Let's go... You do one, I do
one.
Oh,
okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was all about me right now.
So, The Fan. Why do you like The Fan so much?
The plot. The plot was really good. Like, Robert De Niro plays like a father that's trying to... He's just trying to make it. You know, you can tell that he's in a hard spot right now. His wife has moved on and, you know, has a new family and everything. And he's selling knives. Yeah. So
that's a rough
he's
job.
So obsessed, and it just really gets into the mind of these sports fans. Like, y'all really can get kind of...
Yeah, don't say y'all.
I'm a sports fan, though. Like,
I am a sports fan.
Y'all can really get out there in the mind sometimes. Like, y'all take this to heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people be punching holes in the walls and fighting at the games. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Pistons. But yeah, so like getting into the mind, like, you know, he got upset with Wesley because he was like, oh, you know, it's just a game. You know, it's not that serious. And Robert was like, well, you know, the fans, we take it serious. What about us? You know what I'm saying? So, like, obviously, he took it so serious, he kidnapped his kid. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but the plot was really good. Like, I love a good thriller. So, that's why I like it.
Okay, so let's play a clip from The Fan here. Real quick.
I'm getting a restraining order.
People are scared of you, Gil. When the world turned its back on him, he turned to the one thing he could still count on. But when he learned the truth about the one player he idolized...
It's just a game. What?
There was nothing else to do but set things right. Robert De Niro, The Fan. This month on MAV TV, American Real.
So I never heard of MAV TV, but it's this.
Let's rewind though. How you just gonna say Robert De Niro? Like Wesley Snipes ain't a real thing. I was waiting. They was like Robert De Niro, and I'm like finger to the ear, like okay, and that was it. Like what? Don't watch that channel, y'all.
So you heard it here first. Dani Lashay said, "Do not watch MAV TV." Like I said, I never heard of MAV TV. But obviously, The Fan is on there this month. But that's a good movie. That's a good selection for Bob. I think Bob would like that selection. Now, I have a better selection for Bob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Now, I don't know if you guys could tell. Bonus episode, we like to get a little sippy sip. That's why we're saying Wesley Snipes.
Shut up. No, I was just talking really fast.
I can relate to that. Being from New Orleans, I talk a little fast sometimes. And Detroit people tend to do that.
Don't try it.
I'm not. I don't want to get beat up. I know y'all not scared to fight.
Not at all.
So the movie that I'm going to go with for Bob, my first movie, is Love and Basketball.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Love and Basketball is a classic.
It is.
You got... My first ever real crush was from Love and Basketball.
Omar?
I see you got the jokes. I see you got the jokes. No disrespect to Omar. He's a good-looking guy. But my crush was Sanaa Lathan. At the time, I was like 10 years old, I think, when it came out. And Kyla Pratt. Yeah. Little Kyla Pratt was a crush of mine as well.
People sleep on her. Like, she's been in the business for a very long time.
She has.
Long time.
She has.
She was that go-to girl. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of the movies. So.
She was. Shout out, she was on the episode of Rail I watched a couple of weeks ago. She's still doing her thing. And she's been on some Hallmark movies. I saw those.
Yeah, well, you gotta get paid.
Hey, you gotta get paid. Definitely. So no disrespect. She definitely out here still doing her job.
They're trying to do a 101 reboot.
Oh, for real? Mm-hmm. Okay, that would be dope.
It has to be the original though, right? Because when she went off to college, it got corny.
It did.
It got real corny.
It did. Shout out to Ray J, but it got real corny in season 5 when she went off to college. Because Flex, he didn't make the show, but he was a really big part of the show.
He was, yes.
So once he was gone, him, Spirit.
Yeah, Arnez.
Yeah, Arnez was there for the college year.
Yeah, but
it wasn't the same.
They had him with Brandy.
They had to have Spirit there as well.
Yeah.
So speaking of Kyla Pratt, she was the child version of Monica in Love and Basketball, and the basketball in this movie was pretty good. Sanaa Lathan took that seriously. You could tell in the movie that she could really good ball. Yeah. She had handles. Yeah. Omar, on the other hand, couldn't really play ball. If you watch the movie today, Omar couldn't play no basketball.
Let Q live. He already got injured at the end, and his wife got injured into the second professional league. Goddamn.
He had a rough one. If you really watch the movie, Q had a rough.
He did.
He had a rough like 5-6 years there.
I mean, shit. His daddy was Wilt Chamberlain. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that alone is a lot of pressure. So
that's true. That's true. So, Love and Basketball. Were you a big fan of Love and Basketball?
I was. I watched that movie. I think I was in like 7th grade when that came out, and like we were really obsessed with like that and like Save the Last Dance. Like we knew the words just back to back.
Okay, Save the Last Dance.
Live your dream.
I was just about to start singing. It's not as hard as it may seem. Not together thing. So they could tell, they're like, dang, they over there sipping. But we got to have a non-sports movie one day, sports movie podcast, and talk about stuff like that. But let's play a short clip from Love and Basketball for you guys who may not remember. This is a scene right here, an emotional scene from Love and Basketball right here that you guys may remember. Hold up, that's a commercial. We're going to get past this commercial real quick, and then we're going to play the scene.
All right.
But, yeah, Love and Basketball one is definitely a classic.
Would you be opposed to a Love and Basketball 2, or do you think that they need to just leave the classic alone?
I think they got to leave it alone.
Okay.
You think about Love and Basketball, because how can you do it 2? They both too old to play ball now. What they doing?
I guess they would maybe make it about their daughter.
Yeah, they did have a kid, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that.
But see, the remakes don't ever be as good.
Yeah.
They don't ever be as good. And they end up going straight to video or DVD.
Before I even get to this clip, did you see they making a live action Kim Possible?
Man, get the fuck out of here. That shit is trash, my nigga. Like, seriously? it's not even close to the original. You know what I'm saying? They got her using her stuff in public. Like, she never did that.
Yeah, like the lady, like for you people who may not have seen it, there's a preview of a Kim Possible live action movie that's going to be on Disney. It's not going to be in theaters, but on Disney. And for people of our age group, you know, older millennials, this is something that's close to our heart, right? Kim Possible
is a gem.
Yeah, for people who saw my last, Saints video, I danced to Kim Possible for the intro. So people know how much I love Kim Possible. And they're doing a live action movie. I'm like, okay, let me see what it's talking about. And in the intro, she's out here using her little sling in public. And people are like, thank you, Kim. They're not supposed to know she's Kim Possible, the superhero. So I was very disappointed by that. Hopefully the movie is better than what they have shown so far.
Listen, I'm not even going to give them the viewer rating. I'll watch it online and see what it's about. But it's probably really not going to be about nothing. And then you have her looking so young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Kim Possible was in high school. Like, all these people that be playing these kids and really be grown. Like, you could have got somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's say Kristen Milian been playing high school parts forever. Okay. And y'all could have got her, all right?
For real.
All right, but here's the clip from Love and Basketball. Just to give you guys a little bit what the movie was about. On this scene, she's coming in and seeing Q.
Talk to your new girlfriend.
Look, I took the hoe to Burger King.
Cheap date.
She had time for me.
So you messed around to prove a point?
What'd I just say? You got your head so far up your ass, it took a cheap date for you to notice me.
What cute man? Did I forget to kiss your ass like everybody else?
You forgot to be there.
That night you wanted to talk about your dad. I had curfew. What was I supposed to do?
Stay.
If I stayed, I wouldn't be stark.
Or at least you got your priorities straight.
I never asked you to choose.
You never have to.
I'm a ball player. If anybody knows what that means, it should be you.
If basketball is all you care about, why are you boning me? Why don't you bone Dick Vitale?
Classic line.
Wait a minute.
And then that's when he would have got a gut punch real quick.
So, what did you think about that scene in the movie? Like, when you first saw it, what were you thinking at that point?
Well, I was a kid, so I didn't get it. But if that was me as an adult, I would have stayed. Because he needed her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a really rough time. And he just would have had to, you know what I'm saying, chuck that L for that one game. Or however many games. But that was your man. You know what I'm saying? I would have stayed.
I think they could have came to a compromise. Like, come to the room. Like, do something to where I don't have to sell out this game.
But see, she didn't say nothing. She just was sitting there looking all antsy. You know what I'm saying? And he's still talking. So, yeah, like you said, that should have happened. But if you wasn't going to say nothing, then you should have stayed.
That's my one gripe with the movie. I feel like Q was being a bit of a bitch during the movie.
Well, yeah, because he was very entitled throughout most of the movie. Very entitled.
For people who have not seen the movie, Q was one of the top-ranked high school guys. Everybody was after him. Monica, she had to scrap and work her way to get a scholarship. Mm-hmm. Even there's even one point in the movie where the only reason she got a scholarship is because one chick got pregnant and had to go back home. So she had to scrap and work her way to that starting spot, and she didn't want to give that up, which I understand, especially being a basketball player.
And being a woman. Like, we are such the underdog in life. Like, it really doesn't matter what the career choice is. We are definitely the underdog. We are looked at as being, less strong and less able to do certain things. Like, my nigga, we bring whole 13-pound babies into this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can never.
We definitely could not. That's one thing I'm not arguing. I definitely could not.
Never.
I could never birth
so
a baby out of me.
We definitely need more credit than a lot of people like to give. Let's just put that out there.
Okay, that's true. I'm not going to dispute that at all, ladies who are listening. Damian is here for Lady Power. Okay, I'm not going to dispute that at all. But that was my number one pick, Love and Basketball. So you picked the fan first. What is your number two pick?
So number two is going to be Above the Rim.
Okay.
As far as sports goes, basketball is the one thing that I can understand. As far as how it goes down, and then I've been a Pac lover all my life, you know what I'm saying? All of my 31 years of living. And I really enjoyed that movie. I guess, me being from the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to identify with, the behind the scenes street tactics of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing Marlon Wayans in a more serious role. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't think we've seen him in a serious role since then.
He had one. I don't know if you guys ever seen Requiem of a Dream.
No, I've never even heard of that.
It's a crazy movie, but he really showed that he can act in that movie.
I know he was trying to be Richard Pryor. It was him, Mike Epps, and Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Mike Epps got picked.
He did, yeah. All three of them were up for it. Now, I did see Marlon's, like, reel for it, like his promo for it, or his audition tape.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best. However, it was really good for him to be a comedian. You know what I'm saying? For him to be a more funny type of actor. So I'm going to have to look that movie up and see. Yeah, no,
Requiem of a Dream is crazy. Like, it's definitely one you got to watch by yourself, not with the kids.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy. But, so Above the Rim, something that you really enjoyed that movie.
I really enjoyed that movie, and the soundtrack is, like, so fucking dope.
Oh, SWV, anything?
Man, yes.
So, yes, Above the Rim is such a dope movie, especially for a basketball head like myself. It got real basketball players. Dwayne Martin, who plays the main character in the movie.
Yes, I forgot about him. Yes.
He was actually someone who had a college scholarship to play basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, so he really could play. So when you see him doing those scenes, that's really him doing it. Leon's somebody who played basketball as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you see Leon out there beasting, scoring those, he had the best game in history. He didn't miss a shot during that game.
Well, it was like a meme going around. I forgot what team it was, but they had Leon on there talking about they might as well add him to the roster.
Oh, they probably talking about Golden State.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so Golden State adds everybody, so they probably going to add Leon too. But
what's the movie with Jesus Shuttlesworth?
Oh, that's Jesus Shuttlesworth is in that's the drink is talking. I definitely should know this movie off the top of my head. Jesus Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen,
yes,
with Denzel Washington, directed by Spike Lee.
You know all of that except the name. I'm gonna Google it.
It is, but that's a really good movie too.
My goodness, you still don't know? Okay.
Ray Allen really can't act though. That's the only thing that brings down the movie.
He got game.
That's
what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
He got game. Classic. So let's play a quick scene from Above the Rim. Let me see here. Is it going to be What Happened to Flip? Shame what happened to Flip.
Shame. Damn shame.
But we're going to do something real quick here from Above the Rim. And you could buy it on YouTube for $2.99.
Oh, wow. Right.
So right here, let's get this scene. So Flip was played by the late, great Bernie Mac in this movie. And this is Dwayne Martin walking out, seeing Flip. And he didn't know it was going to be the last time he saw Flip.
Flip, look, I'm not here to start nothing, man. Just want to ask you about your man, Tom Shepard. What you looking for, some dick? Look, I'm serious. Put your fucking hands up. Oh! Come on, man, I'm serious. Go off your goddamn self. I told you, man, what's up, man? Talk to me. Come on. Oh, what you doing? Oh, man, what's up? Oh, let him go. You want some of this? What's up? Fuck you with your pussy ass. You too, Birdie, old picklehead motherfucker. What? Birdie, no. Oh, look at you now. You flinching, right, little bitch? Huh? Birdie, what's up? Please. Put this shit away, man. We ain't trying to hurt nobody. Flip, you get your raggedy ass from up around me. Man, fuck you, Birdie. You think you all that. You ain't no fucking better than me and nobody walking around here. Your fucking ass will come ask me about Tom Shepard. Ask Scarface. His motherfucking brother.
So in that scene, Flip reveals that Tupac's character Birdie is actually brothers with Leon's character Tom Shepard.
Mm-hmm. Shep.
Yeah, Shep. It's such a good movie. Shep is such a classic character, so I definitely can't be mad at that selection.
For sure.
of Above the Rim. So for my next movie, since you picked Above the Rim,
You had to.
I'm going to go to another basketball movie.
Okay.
Classic right here. White Men Can't Jump.
That is, I love Rosie Perez in that movie. Oh, she gave me so much life.
So we love Rosie Perez in the movie, but for different reasons.
You know, her.
Let's just say at that young age, I discovered what direction I was going
Yeah, I bet.
because of Rosie Perez. Now, White Men Can't Jump is about Woody Harrelson, who's a white man who can play ball. He joins up with Wesley Snipes, another Wesley Snipes sighting in this list here, and they go around hustling people. But during the hustling, they hustle each other because hustlers just can't help themselves.
Of course.
And Woody Harrelson is trying to get money, save up money, so he can make a good life for him and his girl, Rosie Perez, who looked oh so good during this movie. And at the end, him and Wesley Snipes end up beating the legends in their neighborhood, right? They go all around LA hustling. They even have points where they hustle people to where people want to shoot them. They go to the car, get the gun. And the only thing in this movie is that Wesley Snipes never played basketball in his life. You could tell that he wasn't really a basketball player. Woody Harrelson looked like he could play.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes out here doing moves that wasn't legal.
This nigga's Blade, okay? You ain't gotta know how to play basketball. He can chop kick your ass the next week.
So he can definitely do things that in this movie he plays basketball like he's slaying vampires. Like he definitely didn't have basketball skills, but it was a great movie.
Yeah.
You know, it shows you that you shouldn't be out here gambling. My man Woody Harrelson lost a great girl, Rosie Perez, because he was out here gambling way too much.
She lost. I mean, she won that damn Jeopardy money. Baby, when I tell you, it would have went down. You lost my Jeopardy money? Like, you know, winning Jeopardy is not that easy. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very well versed in different categories. You don't even know what they're going to
You
ask.
don't know.
You
They
know
could ask a whole category about things that start with the letter Q.
Exactly. I think that might be the letter that you hate.
It might be, but Rosie Perez was ready.
She was on it.
She was ready for the letter Q,
On it.
and she was on it. All right, White Men Can't Jump is on my Xbox downloaded. Right, like I can watch it right now. Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Period. What were your feelings towards White Men Can't Jump?
I really enjoyed it.
While I refill your drink.
I really enjoyed it. It was definitely something that I feel like it's a timeless movie. You know what I'm saying? Like you can watch that at any time. It's 2018, about to be 2019, and I can watch it and feel like I'm watching it for the first time. I feel like, you know, once again, being from the hood, you're trying to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make it, but I feel like you have to be smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to win a basketball tournament. So you're going to voluntarily risk, you know what I'm saying, your girls' Jeopardy winnings when y'all was asked out, basically. You know what I'm saying? You owed a whole bunch of people money. Like, I commend Rosie. Because, no. Now I would have been the mafia on your ass. Because you would have had to recoup that. I guess you would have been paying me like monthly to pay that off because I want that back. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Like, it's one thing to invest in something and then it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But a basketball tournament? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too risky.
Yes.
Because just like you might think that you're the best at something, but it's always gonna be somebody better. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like how you watch on TV when people play pool and they be like trying to act like they don't know what they're doing, and then they end up ripping you off. You know what I'm saying?
Famous Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode.
Ooh,
Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil came through. He hit that one he put behind his back, his fingers. He got that shit.
So he pulled out Lucille.
You know what I'm saying? Or
yes.
Martin. When old girl beat him.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I do remember that.
He was in the hallway with in his drawers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely have to be careful with what you do. Like, it was something to... It's one thing if you do a small amount, you know what I'm saying? $100, $200. You know what I'm saying? But you spend all the winnings. Like...
Yeah.
You can't even take me to the Sizzler now.
And that's hilarious because there's a famous scene from the movie where they're talking about we going to the Sizzler.
The Sizzler used to be the spot. And it was so funny because when I moved to LA, they had Sizzlers there. I never went, but every time I saw one, I thought about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and He Got Game because they used to talk about the Sizzler. And I didn't even realize, I didn't know that was a real place until I became a like the Sizzler. What the hell is the Sizzler?
Nah, it's definitely a classic place. We're going to play a quick clip from White Men Can't Jump. This is a scene where they're shooting for money right here.
Oh, shit. Oh, it is hard goddamn work being this good.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, Rabbit is. Am I starting to get to you?
No, Sidney, you aren't getting to me. You're just making my eardrums hurt. See, the thing is, you guys look at me, you see the backwards hat, the gray socks, the funky outfit, and you say, now this guy's a chump, am I right?
Yeah, fucking geek.
A fucking geek, exactly,
like
all right?
Geek.
But what you don't realize is that it ain't easy. It is hard goddamn work making something this pretty look like a chump or a geek. So I must be doing it for a reason.
You got me convinced, whatever the reason may be.
Fact is, I missed this shot, I'll walk away, I'm still a chump.
Go ahead and walk away.
But you miss, and you've been beat, well, not once, but twice by a slow, white, geeky chump.
Ain't no thing. Ain't no thing.
Sidney.
No thing but a chicken wing on a string from Burger King.
Sidney, I noticed that wind was kicking up a bit on my last shot. You might want to just about 6-8 inches to the left.
Here it is. This is the big one. All the money.
Don't worry, Sidney. I've hustled a hell of a lot better players than you before. Don't put up no brick.
Would you stop yapping and let brother shoot? Yeah, I got it. Wrist.
Oh, sweet.
Brick. Hey, man, give me my money, man. Hey. It's a money thing, brother.
There's a man with integrity.
Hey, yo, don't you push your luck, man.
Got nothing to do with luck.
Hey, yo, man, you said we was going to Sizzler. Oh, man, shut your anorexic, malnutrition, tapeworm having, overdose, Dick Gregory, Bahamian diet drinking ass up. Leave me alone.
Classic scene right there from White Men Can't Jump. My number 2 movie. What is your number 3 movie, Miss Dani?
So my number 3, I would have to say, is Remember the Titans.
Okay, took one from my list.
Man, I love that movie so much. Like, Disney knows how to play on your heartstrings, and goddamn it,
Yeah.
if I didn't tear up, like, and I'm a Libra, so I'm already emotional as is. But man, that movie was everything. Like the issues with, you know, racism and how they came together, and then oh boy got into the car crash and died, and I was just like, this is much. I wasn't ready, but it was such a great movie. Man, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, anytime it's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, and it was based on a true story. You know
was.
what I'm saying? And I live for based on a true story. I don't know why, but like, I like to picture what happened like in real life. But it was man, that movie was so great. It was a great movie. One of the best Disney movies of all time, I have to say. For me.
Yeah.
One of the greats. And why did you like the movie?
I loved Remember the Titans. It had so many quotable lines. Like, Sunshine, sunshine. It had my favorite line from the movie when they're at practice and Petey keeps fumbling. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "You're killing me, Petey. You miss a block, you run a mile. You run the wrong route, you run a mile. You fumble my football, I'll break my foot off in your giant brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile." Like, it's such a great movie. I definitely think that he should have won. Denzel, when I say he, should have won an Oscar for that movie. You know, he got one a couple of years later for Training Day. But he definitely should have won it for Remember the Titans. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Bertier getting in a car accident, the race relations, how they went off to their training camp and joined together and then got hit with reality when they came back to school of how segregated the world was. Mm-hmm. Coach Boone's relationship with the white coach, I'm forgetting his name right now, how they end up getting together. Mm-hmm. The kid, the little girl who, you know, is now a big-time actress. Yeah. Her role in just being someone who was so into football at that age and how she was so different from Denzel's little girl. Mm-hmm. So many good things in that movie. Strong side, left side. There's so many good things from Remember the Titans. Like you said, if it comes on right now, I'm stopping the podcast and be watching the movie. That's how dope the movie really is. And I gotta play a scene. Oh, YouTube has a full movie, so
wow, for free.
Yeah, it might get taken down pretty soon.
Yeah, as soon as you post this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what?" Yeah, attack.
So we're gonna play this quick scene right here, and this is from a game when a referee was cheating the team, and the coach wasn't having it. Let's play that scene real quick. Let's see if that's commercial. Oh, here we go.
Hey, Mr. Official. Mr. Official, can I talk to you for a second?
Back off, coach, if you want to stay in this game. I've got holding on 78 white.
What are you trying to cheat my boys out the game? 15 more yards.
Listen, let them play, ref. Let them play.
Regional fight.
Let them play. Let the boys play. Cheetah.
Coach, come on.
Cheetah.
Coach.
Go, 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 go.
I know all about it, Titus.
What are you talking about, Bill?
You call this game fair, or I'll go to the papers. I don't care if I go down with you. But before God, I swear I'll see every last one of you thrown in jail.
You dig your own grave.
Defense on me.
Okay, Petey, don't you drift to the strong side.
Coach, they're calling a holding penalty on me every time.
Did I ask for your excuses? You want to act like a star? You better give me a star effort. Do you hear me?
Forget about him. Alan, you're in. Come on.
All right. Now, I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night.
If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
So for those who may not remember the movie, the white coach had a chance to become head coach again. And he sacrificed that for Denzel's character. Mm-hmm. And the referees were cheating for him and everything. He said, oh, y'all better call this fair. And after that, he gave him that speech. He said, I want y'all to blitz all night. And they did. And they whooped that team's ass. They went on to win the state championship, second in national. Remember the Titans classic movie I can't be mad at that pick right there.
Not at all.
So for my next pick, I'm gonna go football as well. This is another movie that's downloaded on my Xbox because I love it. One of my favorite movies of all time. I gotta go with Any Given Sunday.
Man, yes, you took one off my list.
So with Any Given Sunday, great movie, and it has a lot of parallels to real football today. You had the aging quarterback that was played by Dan Quinn, and you had the young upstart quarterback played by Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx was very flashy. You know, he had his own song. You know, he was inflate your chest with Metrex. My name is Willie. Willie beaming. I got the ladies screaming. I got the fans screaming. You know what defeat me? You're dreaming. Willie, be man. So now Willie Beeman was a third string quarterback. And one game, both the quarterbacks in front of him got hurt. He came in, showed the flashes of talent. He was like Michael Vick before his time. He showed those flashes of that running ability of a quarterback and really unleashed the imagination of the offensive coordinator. And this movie goes into so much more than just the game. It goes into the relationship between the owner and the coach. How the owner wanted the offensive coordinator, the young offensive coordinator, to become the next coach. You see that a lot in real NFL, where the young offensive coordinator is the guy who everybody wants to be the next head coach, but you still got that coach there who's been there for a long time. Like I said, with Jamie Foxx, he was somebody who got big-headed, and the rest of the teammates went to drastic measures to shrink his head down, to bring him down a notch. You know, you had LL Cool J in the movie. LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx got in a real fight during the during the filming of this movie. You know, and rumors have it that LL won. So, but they say they're cool now. It was, you know, that movie was in '99, so that's a long time ago. But this movie is just so dope. Al Pacino did a great job playing the coach. So many great speeches in this movie. The game action was real. It was really good. You had real football players like Terrell Owens in the movie. Great movie. One of my favorites of all time. I love how it just brought together the behind-the-scenes action of real football and what you don't see from a sports fan's perspective. Did you like the movie Any Given Sunday?
I definitely did. Number one, because I used to have a big crush on LL. So, like, I really loved that movie back then. But, you know, I love to see black people in film. You know what I'm saying? So, to see them playing, you know what I'm saying, in such a major way and it being sports related, I definitely enjoyed it. And then when I found out that the fight scene was real, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really enjoyed it after that. Like, damn, okay, this nigga was knocking a few bucks. So.
Oh, man. So, we definitely have to play a scene from Any Given Sunday just to show you guys how real it was. Yeah, so many good sports movies, man.
It really is.
So we're going to play a quick scene from Any Given Sunday. So this is Al Pacino giving a speech right here. That's the advertisement. Hold on. We're going to let that play out. Let that skip. You know, that's the problem with using YouTube. You know, I ain't got the rights to these. But we're going to go ahead and play this real quick.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes till the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
They got me ready to suit up.
If that speech doesn't get you ready to play, then
For real. And
no.
then, have you noticed how much Adam Sandler and Al Pacino sound alike? Like, I was listening, and I feel like that's where Adam Sandler gets a lot of, not his character, but with how he talks. Because as I was listening, I was like, damn, he kind of sounds like Adam Sandler.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that connection before.
Yeah, like,
you know.
I feel like if you go and watch an Adam Sandler clip after this, and you'll be like, damn. Like, because I was just listening, like, that's similar to Adam Sandler. But yeah, I'm sorry, that was random.
It's fine. It's the real deal. We do random comparisons. That's what we do here. So it's fine. But Any Given Sunday was my number 3 movie. Mm-hmm. What is your number 4 and final movie to give to Bob?
So my number 4 is going to be Creed with Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. I really, like, a lot of people say they don't like Michael B. Jordan's acting, but I think he's pretty good. He's not a Denzel or anything, but, you know, he's pretty good. I've liked pretty much all the movies that he's been in. I thought it was really dope that they made him the son of, what was his name?
Creed.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, he's the son of Apollo Creed.
Apollo, yes. Okay. Right. That's what I was looking for. Not the last thing. Okay. But I thought it was really dope. Felicia Rashad was his...
Yes, Miss Huxtable. Mother.
Right? That was his mom?
Yeah.
So that was his grandma?
No, it was his mom.
Michael B. Jordan's mom?
Yeah, that's his mom in Felicia Rashad because she was married to Apollo.
Oh,
and
shit.
Apollo died in Rocky 4.
Yeah.
So he got killed. But in Creed 2, if you guys haven't seen Creed 2 yet, that's a connection between Creed 2 and Rocky 4.
I don't see how I didn't pick up on it. That was his mama. I don't know how I missed that. Okay. Love her. She was in the movie.
Yeah.
In Creed 2, they have him being a dad. Like, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Creed 1's better.
Oh.
Creed 1 isn't as predictable. Creed 2 is more predictable. You know what's going to happen in Creed 2. It's still a feel-good movie. It still makes you feel good. The boxing action, I'm a big boxing guy. The boxing action in Creed 1 and 2 are really good.
Okay.
So as a boxing guy, it's something that you go into a boxing movie, you're like, okay, hopefully the boxing is real.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like from Creed movies over the Rocky movies. The Rocky movies, the boxing is very unrealistic. It's all haymakers. It's all... No,
I do know that Michael B. Jordan definitely got knocked the fuck out.
He did.
The hell out.
He did. He took a real punch.
He did. He was knocked out in that scene. So that was, I really enjoyed Creed 1. And I like that they had Sylvester Stallone in it.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little sad about Creed 2.
Like I said, don't be sad. It's still good.
Like, I like it to be good. Like,
it's
the
still very good.
follow-ups have to be like... I feel like it has to be better. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do a part 2 of a movie, it has to be better than the first one because you're doing a follow-up. So now we're expecting a certain level, you know what I'm saying, of greatness. Comparing it to the, like, Home Alone.
Yeah.
Home Alone 1 versus Home Alone 2. Man, it ain't no comparison. Home Alone 1 was everything. And then Home Alone 2 was,
Yeah.
And then they came in with the trash ass Home Alone 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
So there's very seldom that the sequel lives up to the original. Like with, you think about Bad Boys 2.
No, see, I disagree with you there because I love Bad Boys.
That's what I'm saying. That was my example.
I was about to say.
Yeah, Bad Boys 2 is better than Bad Boys 1.
It was.
Yeah, so it's very seldom that you have those type of movies where the second one is better than the first one. Like, Rocky 2 lived up to Rocky 1. I'll give him that. But with Creed 2, Creed in the second one is more predictable. There's more development of his character. He becomes a father. He, proposes to his fiance. So that development is there. But he's going to beat Drago.
Yeah.
The first time he fights Drago in the movie, he's going to get beat up. Like, those things is going to happen. So with Creed 1, we didn't know. Like, it's more of oh, wow, that happened? In Creed 2, it's going to happen. But it's still good enough to where, you could have a Creed 3. Okay, so it's still good.
Do we need a Creed 3 though?
I listened to an interview with him on the Bill Simmons podcast. He wants to do like Creed, like Rocky. But Rocky, they had 5 Rockies. And the first 4 Rockies were good though.
Yes.
Rocky 5 was bad. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
But
let's slow down because if number 2 wasn't as great as number 1, goddamn, number 3?
Yeah.
I can only imagine. So, Michael B, let's wait a minute. Maybe reevaluate the writers or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, with Creed 1, though, I really agree with that as far as a pick. Creed 1 was a great movie. I liked it. And the storyline was good. You talk about the kid who grew up kind of rich, having Apollo Creed's money and still wanted to box, and he was turned down by all the trainers because they didn't believe he had that hunger. Because a lot of boxers, 99% of them, to be honest with you, come from poor situations where they have to find a way out.
Gotcha.
So when you have somebody who comes along that's rich, you're like, why would you want to box? Like, go play football, basketball, do something that's not as dangerous as boxing.
Yeah.
Because you can play football, you can play basketball, you don't play boxing. Like, boxing, you do. Like, I love boxing, but I grew up in a situation where I didn't have to box.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Because as I was a decent athlete, so I didn't want to do that. I was like, I could play basketball. Why would I box?
I feel like boxing and football are damn near very similar as far as, like,
the
danger
physicality
goes. Yeah,
it's true
because of how many concussions. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
you can break your damn neck. You know what I'm saying?
that's true
But
with football.
getting boxing, yeah, you. I mean,
It's just a different mentality because with football you got protection on.
True.
It just seems different, even though it's probably just as dangerous.
It is though, because you can get tackled and hit the ground versus you getting punched to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
Yeah. So when you get punched in the face, it's different.
That's true.
So
That's
like,
very true.
I got in a few fights growing up, and only lost one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get punched in the face, it's a different reality, and it's something that I didn't want to do for a living.
Yeah.
Like even though I love boxing, I'm like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to actually box. So when you have a story like Creed, it's realistic that the trainer be like, this guy's rich. He ain't trying to come up here and box.
True.
What you trying to get punched in the face for, dog? You pretty. Like you're not trying to come in here and get punched in the face. Like you good.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
I like that he had that hunger about him that still wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And in Creed 1, they do a great job telling the story. The boxing is excellent.
Yeah.
I have to give Michael B. Jordan credit for going that deep into the role.
Hell yeah, taking that punch.
Yeah, taking that punch.
Once I stand up, you hitting me like that for real. Oh, it's going down for real. Like,
exactly.
Kudos to you, Michael B. Jordan, for staying in character.
Yeah.
Because I would have forgot what you were at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah. So Creed is definitely a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna play a scene from Creed, but my next movie. You mentioned Marlon Wayans earlier.
Yes.
So there's a sports movie that he's in that's kind of a cult classic.
Okay.
Called The Sixth Man. You ever seen The Sixth Man?
Yes. Kadeem Hardison. Yes.
So,
I forgot about that movie.
So Kadeem Hardison is one of my favorite actors because A Different World is one of my favorite shows.
For sure.
We share that.
Yep.
A Different World. Relax, relate, release. And in The Sixth Man, Kadeem Hardison is the older brother of Marlon.
Yes.
And they both go to the same college. And Kadeem Hardison has an unfortunate accident on the court where he dunks the ball and lets go of the rim too early, falls on his back, and falls and dies.
Yeah.
Which, is very rare, but could happen if somebody had a condition or whatever. And it's up to Marlon's character, who isn't as good as Kadeem, to carry the team.
Yeah.
But Kadeem's ghost
won't let him go.
And will decide to help out Marlon throughout this journey. But eventually Marlon is like, I gotta do this by myself.
Yeah.
I appreciate the help, big brother, but I gotta do this by myself. And he eventually carries a team, which I believe is Washington State, that he carries, or University of Washington, to the championship. Good movie, funny. It's Marlon. It's gonna be funny. Kadeem Hardison.
He's funny too, though.
Yeah, he's a funny.
Wayne is definitely a funny character. I would have to say, I really enjoyed the movie. I feel like the writers did a good job from keeping it from being corny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it could have really been right around the corner from being corny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. So I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
For an honorable mention.
Okay.
Do you feel like Mike should be on the list?
I see you got jokes. But Like Mike
was a good movie though.
But the thing is, at that time, I was like 10, so you were like 12.
I'm saying though, like Bow Wow definitely does not get that much respect now.
Yeah.
Back then,
I'm one of the people who says that Bow Wow's impact on culture is very underrated.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's been in the game since he was like 5?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He's 31 now. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with that. And I feel like Mike I feel like it could be a classic. You know what I'm saying? For that era.
Yeah, for us, for older millennials, is a classic. Not the young ones.
No, and not the older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The 35, 36-year-olds, no.
No,
but for us,
yeah. So I'm about to be 29. You blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it out. I'm not gonna put it out there.
Proud. 31.
Okay. So I'm about to be 29 in a little bit.
Yeah.
You 31. So we are part of the millennials.
Yeah.
Right? We like avocado
You
toast.
barely made it, but okay.
I'm definitely not with the Generation Z. I'll be eating Tide Pies and all that stuff.
I'm saying you probably take shots in the eyeball. That's what they do now. Like, y'all want some tequila, open your eyeball, and they just pour that shit in. Like, yeah.
That's nuts. That's definitely not the
But I feel
millennials.
like Mike was definitely a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was. Shout out to Morris Chestnut.
yeah.
He did his
And
thing in
then
the movie.
listen, we cannot forget about Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
I literally got
is
Space Jam for
classic.
Christmas. Yeah, I got Space Jam for Christmas.
When I tell you that's such a fucking classic movie, and you know they are doing a number 2, LeBron is going to play. At first, I thought that they weren't going to use him because Blake Griffin was doing the like commercials with like Bugs Bunny and stuff, and I was like, oh, they gonna use Blake Griffin? That's gonna be corny. But
Blake Griffin's funny though. Blake Griffin's.
he's funny, but.
Yeah, he's like a real comedian. Like, he really goes on
But if you
road and stuff like
compare,
that.
like, the type of character that Michael Jordan played,
You need LeBron.
You need LeBron because Michael Jordan wasn't a real actor. You know what I'm saying? And it was more so
just
not
a star
serious,
factor.
but he was more serious than he was funny. You know what I'm saying? But it worked.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? It still works. So if you have somebody who's wanting to be a comedian in his past life, outside of playing basketball, like, I feel like you're doing too much.
Yeah.
I feel like LeBron will give that same type of persona, I guess, if you will, that Michael Jordan gave.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even really like a LeBron fan like that, but I see that fitting Space Jam 2 more than Blake Griffin.
No, I definitely feel that because you had the biggest player in the world at that time do Space Jam 1. The biggest player of this time is LeBron.
For sure.
So I feel that. And Space Jam definitely is a classic that deserves to be in the honorable mention of sports movies. Now, Bob is a little older. I don't know if Bob would like Space Jam, but it definitely deserves to be.
Well, yeah, that's true. Bob is what, like 35, 40?
Yeah, Bob's in that range. So I don't know if Bob would like Space Jam, but definitely deserves to be in the mentions of space I was about to say space movies of sports movies.
Technically it was a space movie.
It was Space Jam, so that's true. But Space Jam deserves to be in there. Like Mike is a classic among millennials.
For sure.
Air Bud.
Now that one, yeah, I didn't.
You didn't like Air Bud?
I've never watched it.
What? Air Bud's
Like,
a classic. First of all, Air
dog
Bud
movies, I ended at like Shiloh. Yeah, that was like my cutoff. Shiloh. After that, I haven't even watched. Well, okay, I've seen bits and pieces of Marley and Me, but I know the dog died, so I don't want to cry. So I don't really watch it. So yeah, after Shiloh, I haven't watched.
I'm not a big dog person, so I don't know if a dog dying will make me cry. I didn't cry at Old Yellow.
Dogs.
Is it Old
Yeller?
Oh, Yeller.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
I didn't cry at Old
my
Yeller.
grandma has like a bunch of old ass movies, and Old Yeller was one of them.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you even know what that is. That is so funny.
So I'm not a dog person, but I can understand the emotional
Shiloh
tie.
was a good movie. And Wishbone. Do you remember Wishbone?
I do remember Wishbone.
Wishbone used to be shit, man. I used to come home every day from school watching Wishbone. What's the story? Wishbone.
I do remember Wishbone. I do. So those movies are good for honorable mention.
For sure.
Let's recap the movies real quick. So you picked.
So I started off with. I don't remember.
So you started off with your first movie that you started off with, as I stalled to try to remember as well. Because you definitely had in your selection. You got remember the Titans was one of yours, right?
I had Remember the Titans. I had Above the Rim. I had Creed. I had.
In your first movie.
I don't remember.
You don't remember what your first movie was?
What was my first movie? Hold on, let me see.
As I was saying on the bonus episodes, we get a little sippy on the bonus episode, so it's hard to remember everything that we
say.
said.
One that I had, but you named that one.
Yeah, I named Any Given Sunday. So you had. Do you remember what sport it was? Was it basketball?
Oh, the Fan.
Yeah, the Fan.
Okay, baseball.
Yeah,
okay.
so you had the Fan.
So it was the Fan, Remember the Titans, Creed, and...
Remember the Titans.
No, I said that.
Above the Rim.
Above the Rim, yes.
So your 4 movies for Dani Lashay, for the people who are at home voting: The Fan, Above the Rim, Remember the Titans, and Creed.
Yes.
Those are the 4 movies that she wanted to give to Bob.
Yes.
My 4 movies were Love and Basketball, Any Given Sunday, White Men Can't Jump, and The Sixth Man.
Yes.
As my 4 movies to give to Bob. Now, you guys don't know Bob, but so you're just voting on your favorite movies that you would put in your 4 lineup to give to Bob. All right? So let us know who you think had a better lineup. Don't go with her name because her name sounds sexy.
Listen.
Go with me.
Bob is here right now, and I'm already handing him the 4-pack of DVDs. So you already lost right there. You know what I'm saying? He don't want nothing from you.
Please let the people know where they can follow you and find you on social media.
At Web Celeb Daily. You can follow me, get your latest entertainment and greatest news. My cooking page is at Cooking with Dani Lashay. Again, that's DaniLashay. And if you want to get to know me a little personally, you can follow me at I am Dani Lashay _.
Make sure you follow. I follow all 3 pages. I enjoy all 3 pages on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yes, on Facebook it's Web Celeb Daily Fans, and on Twitter it's just Web Celeb Daily.
Yes, so make sure you follow. Follow
For
me
sure.
at The Real Deal WDA. That's The Real Deal, W as in whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha. Make sure you follow. All right.
If y'all want to. Y'all ain't got to, though. I'm just saying.
She's a hater. She's a hater. It's all right. All right. We came live from Studio H today. All right. So make sure you follow. All right. Make sure you check out this episode and share it with your friends. If you enjoyed it and you laughed like we laughed,
please
share the episode with your friends. All right. I would really appreciate it. As you can tell from the early discussion, it's a struggle being an upstart podcast or being an upstart website. Yeah. It's a struggle. So go ahead and support us. We gave you a solid hour and a half of good content today. So until next time, go real or go home. Peace.